She's back.
Welcome to Hi Felicia. Hi Felicia. Hi Felicia.
Felicia's returned. It's been weeks. I haven't seen you. I didn't even see you before. Like, there was a week I didn't see you, and then you went to Greece like a week later.
I know, it seems like a long time.
It's been a long time.
It's been a big trip.
I just want to say, guys, Felicia has entered the recording studio with a folder. What on earth is in this folder?
Just in case you asked me where I've been, you know I can't just say it off the top of my head.
Well,
so
look,
I kind of have a folder.
This isn't a podcast about your Greece trip.
No, it's not.
But I do want to know how your trip was.
The trip was great. I went with a Tauk, Tauck, and we were on a Windstar cruise, which is only about 100 and some odd people.
Okay.
And we were Tauk only had 40 people on there, and we were very taken care of, and it was great.
So as I spoke to you throughout the trip, there were two major highlights of your trip. It was laughter and diarrhea.
Well, more so laughter. But I went with Penny, obviously, from my community.
Yes. Did Karen feel bad?
Well, she was she was engrossed with the
bar mitzvah.
So she did not feel
right.
The bar mitzvah looked fabulous.
It was fabulous.
And then we met two of Penny's friends who joined us on the trip. Kathy and Carla, two of the funniest women I've ever met in my life.
Should we give them a nod? You think they're listening?
Well, Kathy might listen if I text her. She sure as hell will. Hey, Kath, miss you. Bye. Shout out. We'll meet. We're meeting again in sometime in the winter to do a little.
I love
weekend.
that for you.
All of us.
There's
all four
nothing
of us.
better than a girls' trip, right?
Absolutely.
What were you eating? Because I know you said you didn't love the food.
I don't know what I was eating. I mean, it was
You don't
tough.
know what you were eating? Were you eating like grape leaves and feta cheese
No,
and hummus?
never feta cheese. Never, ever. Not happening. But, I tried a grape leaf.
Delicious.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
I don't know how people travel with you. You don't eat anything
all they did
good.
was laugh.
That you didn't eat.
Right.
Did you drink every day? Were you
At
pounding
night.
cocktails?
At night.
Did you only go to vodka? Only vodka.
My Cosmos. Everybody there knew.
Your
Miss
drink.
Felicia, what's a Cosmo?
Miss Felicia.
Yes, they were basically an Indonesian crew. They were the loveliest, funniest, nicest people. And one of the bartenders, a girl. This is the sign of I love you, or like
showing a sign
from the Korean.
This is the Korean sign.
Yes,
Casey, take a picture. Felicia, stop moaning. It's
this. So one of the girls, I did this to her.
The Indonesian bartender.
Yes,
you're
because
giving her the Korean sign.
That I love you, or that my heart, whatever.
Okay.
And she saw me, this white old lady, Jewish woman, doing this, and she fell on the floor laughing, as did the rest of the crew.
Because they knew what you meant?
Absolutely. And then we start discussing
Korean dramas.
Yes.
Well, we're going to get into that.
Anyway.
Wow. Felicia.
Yeah.
Really, what's important here, and what our listeners want to know, were there any single men on this trip or on the crew a la below deck that you could hook up with?
Very funny story. One of the girls who worked for Windstar, and she was basically like a below deck type of. And when I first saw her and she spoke English, I went, "So you're below deck, right?" Again, she went. I go, "Is it like below deck?" She goes, "No, this is a little different." But I kept teasing her about it the whole trip. And we danced together and we had a really good time.
I love that.
I said, "I want to know, is it like below deck?" First thing I said.
That was a woman.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
So I'm going to ask this question again.
But I don't know her name.
Were there any men on this boat for you?
No.
No Korean men?
No.
No Korean couples? No widows? No divorcees?
No. And then there was an older woman who was single with a walking stick, and she was in her 80s. And
80s?
I was in awe of her.
Was she walking better than you?
Absolutely.
Holy shit, Mom.
Yeah, she even asked me if I wanted to borrow her walking stick.
Dead.
She was great.
That's mortifying for
Everybody took her under their wing.
80s?
Yeah.
God bless that woman.
That's
by
what we all
herself?
thought. By herself. She does this. She takes trips by herself.
All the time?
All the time.
Good for her.
Yeah, because Tauk takes care of you.
Tauk.
You don't have, you're paying for what you get. But at my age, I don't want to think about a lot of things.
I understand.
And that's...
Well, at my age, I don't want to think about a lot of things either.
Well,
but
So,
Fal, I want to update you and our peeps. So much has happened this week. And I want to apologize. Do you know what I want to apologize for?
What?
I've been avoiding you all week.
Because of talking about shows and putting it on the podcast, or did something terrible happen?
No, absolutely about putting it on the podcast.
Oh, I know. I can't stand it. I talk to her. She goes, "Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me." And I hate
love
it.
you. I'm so sorry. There's just so much good conversation for us. let's go into news. But this is like Marni news.
Okay.
So I went to, thanks to Lorraine, her best friend from college. Lorraine is my best friend from high school, invited me to the Fast Company Innovation event. And I saw Ted Sarandos, who is like the CEO, co-founder of Netflix. And he dropped
a bomb?
Some trivia that I wanted to ask you what you think. Okay. What do you think the top global show ever for Netflix has been? And it is like the top show. And he said global, meaning it's a big deal when it hits not just America.
I understand.
Okay,
I do understand what global means. Thank you very much. Ozark? No. I'm going back to an older show.
It's not new.
Not new.
But there is a second season coming out very soon.
Of Ozark?
No, of this top global show. And it's your jam, if you know what I mean. Is it Korean? Yes.
Well, the Squid Game is coming out.
It's Squid Game.
Yeah.
That was the top global show.
Wow. And
Can you imagine that?
Starting, I think the second season is starting like next week.
Very soon.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because you kept bugging me to watch it, and I kept thinking, nah, and then I watched it. I loved it.
So,
and now I can't wait. Now I know who the actors are.
Right, of course you do.
You know.
So I just thought that was so interesting, mostly for the Korean
That is
part
interesting.
of it. Also was Lin-Manuel Miranda, and super interesting. You know, it was a lot about Hamilton, and then it was a lot about the new movie coming out, Mufasa, which definitely going to be seeing with Lennon. I think it's Christmas Day, so maybe that could be our Christmas movie.
Okay.
And he spoke about how they got James Earl Jones' blessing, R.E.P. James, Barry Jenkins is the director. And my big question, and it was answered, is there is music in this movie.
Oh, good.
Because I didn't know, because it's very like live action. It's not animated. It's a live action movie about how Mufasa and Scar became mad at each other.
What does that mean, live act? So
okay, remember that John Favreau did a version of The Lion King?
Yes.
Where you see like real lions?
Yes.
That's Mufasa. It's like,
all right.
It's not animated.
Okay.
It's not people.
Okay.
It's
so
lions.
Lin-Manuel is doing the music, obviously.
Yes. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Okay, so this is what we call in production a pickup. After we recorded the podcast, I realized I forgot one of the most important stories of the whole Lin-Manuel situation, which is my encounter with him. So after the event, I walked out and I saw him basically at what you call like a stage door. And there were a lot of people kind of waiting for him, taking pictures. And I thought, I don't want to be that person. But it wasn't that many people. And I was like, I should just do this. Well, if I'm going to do it, I have to tell him something that nobody else is saying, because everyone's saying the same thing. Oh, I love you. I love Hamilton, all that business. So I went up to him and I was like, I just have to tell you that me and my son loved Vivo, and it doesn't get enough love. And he said, thank you so much. And we snapped a pic. He was lovely. He took pictures with every single person waiting for him. So thank you, Lin. More news from him. He's been posting about this, so this isn't a secret, but I had no idea. Have you ever seen the movie? It was a 1979 movie called The Warriors. It was about like New York gangs, like a Coney Island gang. Like Casey said he saw it. I had never heard of it. I have never seen it.
I guess I'd have to
Male, all men, okay?
Uh-huh.
He's doing a concept album. The idea of a concept album is you listen to the album from beginning to end. And he actually thought Hamilton was going to be like that. But then he started performing at like the White House and it became a show. So he's doing a concept album of a version of The Warriors. He's basically like remaking it. And instead of men, it's all women. And a lot of the women were in Hamilton. So he did drop during this week, and now it's announced who the lead is. The lead is Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill doesn't say yes to anything.
Isn't she?
Anything.
Wasn't she the singer?
Yes. And her best album ever was my senior year of high school.
But she wasn't in Hamilton.
No, but Philippa Sue is in it.
Okay.
So this album is coming out like October 18th, and I'm sure it'll do really well. And I'm sure this will either go on Broadway or now become like a musical movie.
Right.
Super interesting hearing about it. I also want to say the Warriors original movie is on Paramount Plus and it's on Hulu. And I did download it to watch it on the plane this week because I am traveling.
It's on Hulu?
Yeah. And Paramount, which you have because of me.
Can you give me the one lead actor, something?
I don't know if anyone famous is in it. But he said he saw it when he was like 4 and it was like super inappropriate for him. But like
totally,
he just loved it.
After my own heart.
I will say, like, I watched the trailer and it gives me a little bit West Side Story vibes where like groups of New York gangs are like arguing and everybody just kind of wants to get home. Like that's the premise of it. But the Lauryn Hill story, and it took a very long time to get her on board. But he said that he originally had a Lauryn Hill lyric in Hamilton and his people and him thought she would never approve it. So they took it out, right? Then he meets her manager And the manager was like, Lauryn Hill loves you. And he was like, really? Oh, like he had no idea.
Oh.
She definitely would have approved it. So that's a really big deal because she's like really hard to get.
Right.
Okay. In other news, Marni news.
Okay.
Casey dropped an early birthday present for me this week. And there's a reason because it's time sensitive. Now, you saw the first episode of Chimp Crazy?
Yes.
Okay. And you listened to the podcast last week where we really deep dive Chimp Crazy.
Yes.
So Casey was like, Marni, this is super time sensitive. Can I send you something? Don't be mad because this is part of your birthday present. I was like, give it to me. So I'm going to play it for you, Felicia. Okay. So you're going to hear this video and now you're going to understand why it's time sensitive. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Shout out to Marni from Tonya from Chimp Crazy. I understand it's your big 43rd birthday.
You are so
Girl,
insane.
you're way behind me. You need to catch up. Lol. I just wanted to say happy birthday. I understand that you have a podcast. Hi, Felicia. Well, hi, Felicia. And anytime you want me to come on, I'd gladly come on for you. I support anybody that can do podcasts, can do things of their own, and anybody that supports our show. Chimp hugs.
Tonya on Cameo. What do you think?
Both of you are truly.
Casey did that. He's the best.
I understand.
That's the type of producer I marry.
Right.
So,
and that's
that's why it was time
it was
sensitive.
time sensitive
Yes,
because
it
the
was.
As soon
minute.
as so when I sent the description of, as it's my wife's birthday, she has a podcast, called Hi Felicia. I was like, and by the way, if you ever want to come on,
You said that
let
in
me
the
know.
original
Yeah,
message?
I said that in the message.
So then she
So then
records
she records that.
Well,
to
first
do
he
that.
sent. He sends it to me.
I send it to her.
He's like, I was like, invite her on this week. Invite her on. I'm texting Jordan. I'm like, oh my god, if
Jordan would die.
If we get Tonya on, you should come to Long Island so we could record this. So Casey pays the $2.99
$3 to write her back and say, "How does Friday at 12:30 sound?"
and
I
sent
gave
her
the
my
email.
email. Yep,
All of it.
Did she respond, Felicia?
No.
We
She
got
did not
ghosted
respond.
by Tonya.
Empty gesture like Jax Taylor.
Right.
Jax Taylor's cameo said, when you come to LA, hit me up for a drink.
Okay.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Yeah.
They all
Why would you even? Why do you people believe this? What's my saying, Casey?
don't trust anybody.
Don't
But
trust
Tonya,
anybody.
Tonya,
Is thirsty for anything.
exactly. So
That's
she
why
also
I think we need to stalk Tonya.
Well,
we have an in.
Excuse me. Next year she'll be on Dancing with the Stars.
I hope so.
God, I hope
You
so.
know she will.
We did predict this last week. So she now has an Instagram. When I checked, there was like 400 followers. I'm sure there'll be 10,000 by the end of the weekend. And on her Instagram page, she goes, "If you want to work together, hit me up." So
I
Casey
tried
messaged
messaging her, and I got an automated response.
You
saying,
didn't tell me that?
Yes, I got an automated response saying I've been overwhelmed with messages.
Well, that's true.
I will get back to everybody when I can.
She doesn't have anybody working for her.
I believe that.
I will not rest until there is a restraining order
Against
brought
you.
to our house from Tanya's people. I want to get served.
I love this for you. I think that should be your mission of the fall.
Or she comes on the podcast and we
Get her
let
on.
go.
But I just don't think she will. And I bet you she's only doing things for money. No way.
Absolutely.
No way will she come on this podcast.
Because she has to pay for money to.
I know,
do
but
her
Chris
face,
last week.
do that
well,
face.
Chris last week thinks she makes a lot of money with these like zoos.
Maybe
so
she does.
That was such big news, and I wanted to tell you, but I was holding off on that. So much information, Mom. So much information. Thank you, Casey. That's a wonderful birthday present. I love you so much. And Tonya, whew, if you want to see what this cameo looks like, we'll drop it on the gram. More news before we hit the uncircumcised of it all. And there's a big announcement during that segment. But Melrose Place revival in the works, and everyone has agreed to do it. I think Melrose Place. I think Heather Locklear is on board. I'm all for this.
Playing a grandmother.
Maybe.
Probably.
Well, not with all that work done. She could play like a hot older woman who like gets in with a younger man.
What
Who's
is that,
living,
a MILF?
Yeah, or get GILF, which is grandma I'd like to fuck if she's got kids. Goonies remake that I announced last week is not happening. That was a real bummer because like we recorded it and like the next day they were like, this is false.
Oh.
A lot of people are asking me what your thoughts are on the Diddy of it all. By the way, did you hear what you're out of it?
I'm okay. You understand my cell service for the past 2 weeks has been almost nothing. And
Okay, well, he's been arrested.
for
Everything.
They just
Mom, he has...
child
oh my God, Mom. He's been taking advantage of sex workers,
Oh.
taking advantage of employees. they found like 1,000, how many cases of like lube and like oils. They would do like weekend benders and have something called freak offs, like just sex benders and
Is
give
he
people
not
drugs.
rich enough? Did he have to do
Billions.
Yeah, what?
I think he loves taking advantage of people. Well, this is the latest news as of today. He's on suicide watch. And I think he's in the prison, Casey, correct me if I'm wrong. He's in the prison that Jeffrey Epstein was in.
Yeah, hopefully they've updated their security systems.
So we're going to predict that he gets killed by somebody on his team.
Not on his team, you mean in jail with him?
I think he's going to have somebody kill him so he doesn't have to release celebrity names that were involved in these freak offs. Oh, God. Just like Jeffrey Epstein got.
Right.
Quote unquote, killed himself.
Wild. I'll say it again.
Wild.
Why do they shoot themselves in the foot? It might take a few years, but
This has been going on for
a long time.
So long.
I get it, but eventually it all comes out.
Then I ran into somebody this morning in town, and she said, "What do you think about how JLo and Ben were found recently, like out together? Like kids were at one table, her and Ben were at another table." And I was like, I don't know if this is just like a business, clearly some sort of business move. She's like, do you think this was to take away attention of like, did JLo know about Diddy? Now, I remember when they dated, Felicia's like, wait, what?
Wait.
Do you remember?
What does Ben have to do with?
It just takes attention away. If they're photographed,
but it's years ago.
I know, but people love digging shit up. This was just a theory. She asked me my
30
thoughts.
years ago?
Do you remember? I remember when they went to the VMAs together, and I remember when they were like at some club together, and there was like a shooting.
Yes,
and I bet you her people. Benny Medina's like, get the fuck out of there
and get away from him. Absolutely, which is the first.
I don't think this had to do with Diddy, but I found that an interesting theory.
They're digging.
Yeah.
The whole.
But why were they pictured together, and why were their kids at another table?
Maybe they're still friends, and maybe
they probably have shit to discuss.
I'll say it again. Why did they even get married? Why must she get married?
I can't. And that was all her. And you know what's funny? They just announced that her and Brett Goldstein, who I love, he's from Ted Lasso, they're teaming up for another rom-com on Netflix called Office Romance. And it was a hot bidding war for this project. Homegirl's got a lot of work to do because she's got to pay off for that documentary that she paid for by herself. This is me. Remember, she had to put in her own money.
Yeah, guess what? I don't feel bad. I'm sure she has. I'm sure she has a crap load more money.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter.
But I got to say, I love a Jennifer Lopez rom-com. I rather that than these stupid like music videos. And like her Atlas shit. Like give me old school. Give me like Wedding Planner. Give me Maid in Manhattan. That's what JLo's good for.
Okay.
You know? And to bring it back to Diddy, of course there's a docuseries coming out in 2025.
On him?
Of course, on ID, which will be on Max. So I'm all for that.
Okay.
So yeah, Diddy, I hope you rot in jail. I hope you rot in jail.
Just him and Weinstein, they should be in the same jail.
Yeah, and he's trying to get out now too.
I know,
so Diddy's not. I will say the
one
Diddy
takes
of it
over
all.
The other. One takes over.
There's been
the
like
other.
different judges, and he's trying to get bail. Like, and every judge is like, nope. $50 million bail. Nope.
Do you think that there's a possibility that with the decades of shadiness that he's clearly done, that he has participated in this behavior with well-known people?
Well, that's
Absolutely.
what I said. That's why he's going to get himself. That's why
what
he's going to die.
So like maybe he's threatened to speak out about who has participated in these things. And that's why after decades, it's just now coming down. Because a lot of these charges are based on like
years ago,
from like 20 years ago.
2012 was one, and he made all these sex workers obviously like sign NDAs, and a lot of it like he threatened them. They can't.
But what if like some like billionaires were participating in this, and he's like, "Look, I'm going to go public with this," and they're like, "No, you're not. Here's the charges. You're going to go to jail," and he's going to kill himself in jail.
Right. I don't know. I'm picturing like more rappers and like music peeps.
Yeah, I don't picture
rappers these days. Like, I mean, like they're billionaires.
I don't think 50 Cent was in this.
Dr. Dre, like these people have like hundreds of millions of dollars.
50 Cent tweeted
what
something
more could
funny.
50 Cent.
No, 50 Cent's not. 50 Cent is not into it.
No, I know, but you know, a lot of other
he tweeted something very funny.
Like
he's
what
like,
he tweeted?
I don't have. Sorry, you didn't find all the lube on me or something like about the lube.
Well,
and then that idiot Sonny from The View. She made a crack like having lube is not a crime. It's like shut up, Sonny.
You know, I haven't watched The View in
nobody has
a gazillion years.
That was just a hot take that got picked up on.
Right.
Diddy sympathizers don't really get.
Nope. Shame on her.
Right.
Did you hear about the Emmys? Because I know you landed that day.
Here's the problem. Not only did I I didn't even know the Emmys were on, which is obviously very
Because
unlike
then you're
me.
not listening to the podcast. I thought you listened.
I did, but most of
I
my,
said the Emmys were on.
Marni, I had a lot of crap going on in my head for the past 3 weeks, and for me not to know the Emmys were even on.
so sorry.
until after I got back.
I didn't want to text you. I thought you were sleeping.
And maybe I was.
So did you? I watched the whole thing, and it was very enjoyable.
I heard mixed. I mean, I did hear a show
it.
just like the other day, a commentary, I should say, or a podcast, and NPR.
You know what I loved?
What?
Gene Smart, Hacks. They
She-
won.
she-
The Bear won too. The Bear. People are like, oh, the Bear didn't win. Hacks
Right,
did. Let
right.
Hacks take some.
Yeah.
Fucking Baby Reindeer swept.
All the shows we watched.
Richard Gadd, creator of Baby Reindeer, has signed a multi-year first look deal with Netflix.
Wow, good for him.
And I thought the speeches were great. So this Richard Gadd Baby Reindeer theme brings me to our uncircumcised gems of the week. Okay, Mom. This has been very...
Isn't he being sued left and right, or is it?
Yeah, it's
whatever.
I'm sure Netflix will take care of it.
Yeah, I'm
I'm not worried. Mom, I've been talking about English Teacher.
Yes.
Did you watch it? Are you watching
Well,
it?
I only watched before I left. I think I watched 2 episodes. What was that? 2 or 3
Yeah,
episodes?
now
at
I
the
think
time?
there's 4. And I have said, and I recently posted, it's the best new show. The best show ever right now is Industry, and it got picked up for another season.
Which I saw that.
The best new comedy, hands down, is English Teacher.
Okay.
And I posted about it.
Okay.
And Brian Jordan Alvarez, the lead actor, reposted my post.
Oh,
Lovely.
how nice.
But then, Mom, I got flooded with 3 messages from strangers saying, this is very upsetting. I'm going to give a trigger warning to some listeners that I should not support him because he's a sexual predator. And it fucking shook me. Okay?
He's sexual. Another
Mom?
one that's
This actor...
Here's my feeling,
Mom.
Men and their dicks. Something should happen.
Very upsetting. Very upsetting. So this man said, Brian is a sexual predator. He forced himself on me while filming The Gay and Wondrous Life of Caleb Gallo. Please don't support him. With a linked article to crack.com where he tells his story compared to the Baby Reindeer with the producer. He said, so then I said, and look, this is all alleged, but I'm going to tell you what I said to him.
What you wrote back.
And I wrote, blowing my mind, do you want to be on the podcast? Guys, come on. And he said, I would be happy to after the story breaks. Variety and New York Magazine are trying to break it. Vanity Fair reached out to me, as well as Deadline, Out Magazine, Newsweek, The Wrap. Big story, multiple victims.
Right.
But then I got another post from a phone number without any followers and any post that said, yikes, take it down. He is a literal predator. Wild, Mom.
Did you take it
Shook
down?
me. No. Look, let the magazines do the research.
Do that work, right,
I'm
right.
not going to take it down. And
Right.
by the way, it disappears in 2 seconds.
Of course.
So I'm not going to not watch the show anymore. I'm sorry. I think it's so smart. And, what about all the other crew and all the other actors that are working on the show? Isn't this wild?
Oh, God.
Am I breaking story here? I just want to say once these articles come out, and I know how long, we see movies, how long it takes the New York Times or these, articles
it
to come
takes
out.
a long time.
Also, you know who follows this guy? This actor? Ronan Farrow. Now, Farrow.
He's probably looking to write a story too.
I know.
Yep.
Because didn't he break
Yes.
Weinstein?
I don't know if he broke it or
But
the
he-
two,
he-
but he was involved with. I mean, he was
Isn't
involved
this
with
crazy?
breaking.
Very upsetting. So much has happened this week, Mom.
Wow. Did you get nervous when you read that? I mean, did you?
But I kept thinking, this actor, Brian Jordan Alvarez from English Teacher, he reposts anybody that talks about his show because it's like promotion.
Right,
And he's
of
not
course.
so famous that
But
he's not.
he's the one that plays the. I mean,
Yes.
okay. I just wanted to get it clear in my
Yes.
mind.
And I think he's the creator.
Right.
This is, I was shocked. And then when I told Lindsay, who is my best friend / neighbor, who is a teacher, she said to me, oh, this show's going to be done because you can't have a predator play a teacher.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh.
ugh, I didn't put that together.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think it's going to take a long time. If they better find a lot of stories.
Yeah, but what's I forget what is it on? What,
FX.
FX is they're not going to renew it obviously until this is all cleared.
I
Unless
don't know.
They can't.
Well, FX also they do stand up against that. I mean, look at Louis.
Right. Well, every network has to stand up
FX
against
gave
it.
Louis one of the best deals in television, and then
Yeah.
just pulled the rug out because they
that
got to
too.
take this stuff seriously.
Listen
Right.
to this. Crimes ranging from this guy keeps writing me. Crimes ranging from sexual assault to embezzling money, breaking contracts, refusing to pay cast and crew. The more threads I pull, the uglier it gets. He would take money from investors, pay his own rent with it, while crew members and cast were illegally unpaid. Brian isn't just a sleazy person. He's a monster. And Stephanie Koenig is just as bad. And that's the pretty actress on the show that Jordan compared me to. So I'm like, what do you mean? So look, allegedly, like Kelly Ripa always says on her show, allegedly,
right,
we don't know.
Right.
So
Oy.
maybe I'm breaking news, guys. Maybe this podcast could go viral.
Right.
I'm breaking news before Variety. Mom, your focus when you came home from Greece was all your Korean shows. Now, this is my big question for you because you know what really swept the Emmys? Can you tell me what show swept the Emmys that I'm hoping you watched? I mentioned Korea. Come on, think about it.
What?
Shogun.
Isn't Shogun Japanese?
Yeah, but
Japanese.
it reminds me.
I think it's an international cast.
Are you saying because it's not Korean? But it's
No, it's not. It's Japanese.
I understand, but it's still subtitles.
but it did win.
And look at all I think it's great. They're giving attention to new actors, new faces.
Oh, I think that part of it is great.
But I don't have any desire to watch this show.
Well, it's a little for me now that obviously the one I saw originally again.
By the way, nobody's ever no one's talking about the fact that this was like a remake, on the Emmys. Well, I know, but nobody ever mentioned any of this.
I don't know why. I mean, it is.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah, but
so would you watch it?
I don't know. It's a little too heavily into the history. Now there is a very interesting history between Japan and Korea, which truthfully I had no idea until a few years ago. Which I mean, there's really a lot of.
So it's about
history.
Japan and Korea?
Well, I don't know if Shogun is, but I know a lot of stuff that I am watching that is historical. There's a lot of Japan seemed to invade Korea a lot over the a gazillion years, over and over and over again, and they would take women and use them as slaves. It was a whole dirty history of again years and years and years and years and years.
All right,
ago.
will you watch the show?
I don't know.
Mom,
I'll see.
Can we give you a Korean minute? Just to throw it back. Come on, Casey, put it on the clock. 1, 2, go.
All I wanted to do when I came home was lay on my couch and just catch up on the shows that had been dropping for the past 2 weeks. That's my happy place. Marni doesn't seem to understand as she's texting me, make sure to watch this and make sure to watch this. I'm not even interested in regular shows anymore. I just wanted to watch my Korean shows. Now, the good thing for me right now is that there's nothing fabulous on my Korean networks. But I started something I like to finish because now they're over, meaning they show 8 to 10, they drop 1 or 2 a weekend, blah, blah, blah. So I'm kind of caught up. So but new stuff will be dropping.
You're telling me you come home from Greece and you're just watching reruns?
Yeah, well, no, I'm catching up on the shows that
Like
drop.
what? Give me a show.
I can't.
Give me
Love
one.
Next Door.
Thank you.
I can't even, Marni, I didn't write them down. And I can't remember
You don't
the
even
names.
know the names of your
because
favorite shows?
I watch so many of them that after a while, what I watch blends. At my age, it all blends. Doesn't matter.
I did ask you to watch, because there was a few episodes. Let's discuss Emily in Paris Part 2.
Didn't watch it yet.
Mom. Fine.
I-
You didn't
let
watch
me-
it yet.
I-
Let me tell you what you
let-
missed.
wait.
Nothing.
Wait a minute.
I'm just
I
kidding.
swear to God, I put on the new season, if you want to call it a new season, and I went, wait a minute. Didn't I see this when it was on?
I mean, she's
did
so.
not
I think
catch
she's
me.
very annoying.
I think it's like
spoiler. It ends with a new guy, and is she going to go to this new guy, or is she going to want to go back to the chef?
It's becoming a snooze. It's a snooze fest.
Yeah, but
But it's fun watching what
Part
she's wearing.
2 a lot of it takes place in Rome,
Okay.
and wonderful to see the sights.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And we hear Ashley Park sing at a show. At
Well,
kind of like a strip club.
Just for that alone, I would.
So, and there's only
listen
like
to it.
4 episodes.
I know.
Throw
quick.
it on.
It's quick.
Throw
It's
it
quick.
on.
I will. And what else did you tell me to watch?
Okay. I also asked you to watch the documentary Child Star.
Boring as hell. I was waiting for the bump. Nothing. Zippo. Zilch.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I fell asleep towards the end.
Good for you.
It was pure crap.
Child Star starring and directed by Demi Lovato on
Yes.
Hulu.
I know.
And she got Drew Barrymore and she got Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
I learned one thing on this. There's nothing new that we don't know.
Right.
if you're a child actor with parents that want your money, you're gonna have a bad fucking childhood, and the fame is gonna destroy you, and you know it impacts your mental health, and you mostly end up with an eating disorder or on drugs.
Demi Lovato
or both.
didn't even like getting on stage. She hated it. That's what it made it sound like. She
loved to. She wanted
liked
to be famous,
but she didn't like being. She didn't like being photographed because
none of them want to be photographed once you get all that attention. But
Right.
this is what I learned.
Yes.
Because we learned nothing but that Keenan from SNL,
Yes.
take off fucking sunglasses inside. As a director, if I'm filming an interview with you and you're inside and you have fucking sunglasses on, get those sunglasses off.
Absolutely. Looks stupid.
That was so stupid.
Right.
I learned that. And I learned that Christina Ricci's dad was a failed cult leader.
Yes.
I thought that was so interesting.
That was
Casey.
interesting.
What constitutes a failed cult leader?
It means that you couldn't get followers.
I
guess, like-
followed him. Or he didn't get enough money from his followers.
You just,
Casey, I
like,
see this for you.
The numbers just depleted, and you go, I guess that didn't work out
I
for
always
me.
think,
Yeah.
Casey, I think you'd be in a cult.
Oh,
I could
yeah.
yeah, you'd be in a cult. Maybe
I would
not
join a cult.
I know you would.
I wouldn't lead a cult. I
could
don't have
lead a
those
cult.
type of leadership qualities.
I do. I would be
But
the
no, I
cult
would hang
leader.
out. I see the appeal of
Did we
the
ever find out about
community.
the
and
Korean, was the Asian cult leader that had
He's
all
still.
those?
There's still TikToks about it. This
Okay.
shit's still happening.
All right. I just
Robert. Yeah. So that was all I learned. I do not recommend
and I
this.
could not. And what you
Yeah.
told me to watch?
So I don't know if I told. I wanted to let you know, and Lennon dropped this bomb on you while FaceTiming, and I was upset because I wanted to save it for the pod. But we saw Beetlejuice.
Right now, I wasn't sure when you wrote to me that he saw Beetlejuice. I wasn't sure if you.
No, I
finally got
think
him
I
see
wrote
the
to
first
you that
one.
when I was in San Francisco. Thank you, Casey. Such a great husband. When you, I've been begging him to watch Beetlejuice, and he
for
won
like a
it
year
for a
already.
year, and Casey finally got it done.
Did he like it?
he loved it.
Good.
Yeah, he liked it.
He wasn't scared.
The
or
thing about Lennon is you have to make him feel like it's his idea. So
it's probably for
so
any
when
child.
you nag him about watching Beetlejuice, he's going to be like, "No, I'm going to watch The Simpsons."
So Beetlejuice,
The new one. Okay.
was so. I couldn't believe how much I laughed.
Oh,
It was
good.
a little ridiculous.
Well.
but the fact that they could get the original cast,
Right.
was so. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Is it a great film? No.
It's just
Was it as
pure-
good as the original? No,
just
but
a-
it didn't matter.
But just funny.
It didn't
was
matter.
Just funny. And Michael Keaton, he's great.
And I will say there was one part where Casey looked at me. He's like, is he about to get like really scared? And we were a little nervous, but it moved on. And I just really enjoyed it. The music soundtrack was great.
Good.
Jenna Ortega, my God, that girl.
She was great, right?
There's something kind of cool about watching these movies with a kid also
Yes.
because you let down your pretentious guard. Like sometimes we're really precious about the things we loved when we were younger and then remaking them and we're like, oh, why are they doing this?
Right,
Yada,
right.
yada.
That's true.
But when you're watching it with a kid, you can kind of like see it through their lens. They don't have that history with the original where they feel protective about this franchise or this idea. So like when I went back and watched the Star Wars prequels, like I was a little less pretentious about them because I'm like, oh, these are just fun.
Right.
Right.
It's
You're-
nostalgia.
You're not so pricky about it, you know?
But it was so funny because during the movie, he would be like, oh, so that's her mom now?
Right,
like
right.
it
He
was
got it.
registering for
Yeah,
him that
yeah.
like Winona Ryder
Right.
was like, it was really, who's calling you?
Ellen.
Give me the phone. Give me the phone. I love when
Hurry.
you do this. Ellen,
Is it podcast?
we're recording the podcast.
Okay.
Do you want to say hi to our audience?
Audience,
What are you watching on TV right now? Give me one thing you're watching.
I watch nothing. I'm not a good person
Ellen,
at all.
goodbye. This is as real as it gets, people. We answer phone calls. Last week, Dominic Pupa called. We answer calls.
That was a funny one.
So I did appreciate Lennon, like it really registering
right,
for him,
right,
and it was
right.
just so
Because you and I
cute.
love knowing who the people
I
are
just
and where they
loved
were
it.
from. And so he's catching on.
Yeah,
Yes.
It was, and I know you wanted to see Beetlejuice.
I did. But it's okay.
I appreciate you understanding why we took him.
Of course. Of course.
But I will say Lennon is really down to go to a movie with you, so maybe he would see it again with you. He was so happy we took him to see Deadpool Wolverine.
I
So,
love that movie. Now I have to see it again because there were a lot of things I don't think I picked
I think
up.
you should watch Deadpool 1 and 2, which is playing on Disney Plus.
Right.
And get ready for our Halloween costumes, people, because they are
I
fire.
did not see. I mean, yours when I was sitting.
Just
with,
Mom, don't reveal anything,
okay,
although it's very
okay,
obvious.
Okay.
But I think you should watch Deadpool 1 and 2.
Okay.
So we were watching this 2-part documentary on Netflix called Into the Fire, The Lost Daughter. 2 episodes. And while we were watching it, I said my mother would not be able to watch this.
which means someone
This-
dies, gets kidnapped, maimed.
This
raped.
documentary, I just want to say, everybody, watch it. it was wild. It's about this woman, Kathy, who discovers that her child that she had placed up for adoption in like the 70s as a baby, like she was 16 years old, had a baby. Her mom's like, your life's going to be ruined.
Right.
Put the baby up for adoption.
Okay.
And what do you do when you're that age and you give a baby up for adoption? You think she's going to have a better life.
We hope.
Than I could give you.
We
Well,
hope.
this child, she finds out 21 years
Later.
goes missing. And she's on a mission to find her. Like, it is the most wild story. It's like about mother instincts. This woman is a great character. She's like, I think she's dead in that backyard with this adopted father. Like, it's
so the parents that adopted her were awful people.
The father was.
Father.
And like his crimes come out. It's what's so crazy is like, and I'm talking about crimes that were done in the 80s that can now you could go back to,
right?
Because there's more scientific.
And because DNA is now perfected. It was not perfected back in the 70s and 80s.
This documentary, it's in the. I know you don't believe in the top charts, but by the way, I was dying to ask Ted Sarandos at Netflix, but there was no like Q&A.
Right.
If the top charts were really legit. But I will tell you this.
Say to that crowd?
You know what's funny? What he made a big announcement, and
What?
it came out today in the news.
What?
That he's putting out like the stats of like their top shows, and he thinks more streamers should be more forthcoming with their ratings, and that a lot of people are holding that shit back. And he's very like, no, put this stuff forward so people could see what's doing well. So I believe the charts, Felicia, and Into the Fires is in the top right now.
Okay, if you like that kind of thing,
Right, this
then-
is not for you.
Right now,
This is
I
not
know
for
some
you.
people who would love that.
Who?
Karen and Kathy.
Karen and Kathy. Into the Fire, The Lost Daughter. Casey, do you want to mention anything about Into the Fire?
Well, it's definitely not a feel good. Like, like nothing resolves. I mean, spoiler alert, nothing resolves. But
There was an answer.
There's answers, but none of it's like, oh, this is good. You know what I mean? Like,
there was nothing good about it.
It's just all fucked up, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like,
Just-
but I guess that's all true crime, right? Like,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like all true crime is someone got murdered and a family got torn apart about
Yeah.
it. So I guess that's true crime for you. Am I right?
Yes. Which is why I don't
Is that a new slogan? That's true crime for you. Am I right?
Now, one more thing.
One more thing.
No. I watched
what?
The Uglies.
Oh my God. Tell me about it because I love Joey King.
That's why I watched it, because I
oh
love
my
Joey
God.
King.
Good for you. Tell me.
It's a quickie. It was a movie, so it wasn't like
Okay.
episodes.
Casey, we watched the trailer for that.
I kind of like it as I'm watching. I'm going, okay, that's going to happen. In my head, I'm going, that's
you're
gonna-
predicting.
and it's very, very predictable. I think it was from a book or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Everything's
And
from a
it
book.
opens. It looks like it's leading for a second season, which
Second season or a sequel? It's a movie.
second
Interesting.
something. Yeah,
So what is it? She just makes herself look better with like filters?
No. It's a whole dystopian world, and they want to make everybody beautiful. They think that's going to solve the world's dilemmas.
Does
and
beauty solve the world's dilemmas?
Right, and it does.
Does
not.
it?
And what they
Okay.
can I give the
Hey, do I want to watch this?
No.
Okay, great. Spoiler.
And
Spoilers.
And
Tell us.
And what happens when they do fix everybody? Something alters the brain, and they just become sheep following the leaders, and everything's wonderful.
So follow like a cult? Is it cultish?
It's not culty. I mean, it's the future. It's
Is it
something
called the Uglies because everyone's really ugly?
No, they want everybody to be perfect.
Right, so why is it called The Uglies?
Because they brainwash them to think that everybody, until you're 18, is ugly. That nobody's born. I don't know why they had it was the whole thing. It was stupid.
But Joey King looks good in it, right?
Yes, Joey King is Joey King.
I
She
like
looks,
her.
She's not a gorgeous girl, but then they make her gorgeous at the very end.
I mean, I think she's cute.
She's cute. No, she's cute. I
Yeah.
don't know how old she is. I can't tell.
She's probably in her
I mean, I
20s.
never looked her up. I'm sure she's in her.
So Casey and I did, you know how Ryan Murphy takes
Yes.
stories, like when he did OJ,
Yeah,
he did one on Aaron
and
Hernandez.
some of it is pure shit, right?
No, I'm not a fan of American Horror Story, but give me this type of programming where like he, doesn't, and we didn't love Feud and Capote.
Right.
But this Aaron Hernandez story about this football player.
Yeah.
I'm into it. We're very into it. 2 episodes dropped. It's on Hulu. We liked it, right,
Now,
Casey?
what
enjoyed
is
it.
what is his
He's
thing?
not alive right now, but he was a football player. He
back
was
in the when?
maybe in the early
like-
2000s.
And he was he killed?
Well,
Gunshot?
he went to jail for killing somebody.
Okay.
And There were rumors that he was gay and like in the closet, but Ryan Murphy really is focusing on the gay part.
Gee, I wonder why.
I know. But I want to tell you this. Guess what came out that it was just announced that one of his next projects are going to be? Like what real story?
What?
JFK Jr. and Caroline Bassett.
Oh,
Which
leave them alone.
Well, they're not.
I know.
I want to. I'm into that.
But they're not.
They're
around
like,
to
who's
defend
going to?
themselves.
Vogue magazine's like, who could be cast? Like Jacob Elordi could play JFK Jr. and the chick that just won the Emmy who played Princess Diana on The Crown. Like, I think that's a great casting. Oh, I'm all for this. You think leave them alone?
God, I remember when that.
I'll never
when
forget it.
happened.
I know.
We were in San Francisco.
We were in San Francisco.
Yeah,
I'll
visiting
never
Craig.
visiting Craig.
Right.
I was in high school. I'll never forget it. So, Les Miasons just dropped on Apple TV. And Felicia, thank you for doing our God's work. You already watched an episode. Tell us. It's about a French fashion house.
A very, 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 very big French fashion house, and it's again, it seems to be a French cast. I mean,
it
it's nobody I knew.
subtitles?
There was not one, not one actor that I even slightly recognized.
No French actors from Emily in Paris?
None.
Okay.
Well, that I've seen so far. Now,
Okay.
they only 2 episodes dropped.
Right.
Because of my morning, I got to see 1.5.
How was the 1.5? Are you going to continue?
Don't know. Don't
Okay.
love it.
Really?
Don't love it.
And
I don't-
it's does it give a family like fighting vibe, like Succession?
Yes. A family, they have different houses and they want to make, and they're allowed to, stab each other in the back and blah, blah, blah. And same old.
Wow, I'll give it a
And,
try.
Yeah, give it a try. So you haven't watched any of it?
No, because this morning I was
You
really
literally wrote to me.
well. I saw that it came out, but I had to watch. I wanted to watch Housewives of the OC, which was
whatever.
great OC.
Yeah.
I watched the Dubai reunion. That's to bed, and the Salt Lake City dropped.
God. Right.
The opening, I just want to say, if anybody is listening that has worked it's the edit team. The edit team on Salt Lake City does something different than all these other franchises.
Don't do.
They open this season. They open and close every episode. It feels like you're watching like a really serious like movie, like dramatic, like the settings, the voiceover. It was fabulous. Salt Lake City is giving us everything we want.
Give the props to the editing team.
I am right now.
Okay. I'm saying,
giving the props to the editing team.
Okay.
There's 2 new women on the show. One of them is very eccentric with her fashion. Mary's back on. I think it's going to be a really great season. I'm very excited about this show. Let's discuss. It's time for Bye Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Good job, Felicia. You didn't say bye, Marni. So I just want to make a statement. I'm getting stressed, obviously, about all the shows coming out. This is a big week, okay? It's all of like your network shows are dropping.
Oh, the
And I
network.
wanna say-
Like, give me an idea.
I'm gonna tell you.
because I've been out of the
There's
loop.
so much happening, Mom, this coming
All right,
week, besides
all right.
my birthday. There's so much happening.
And my birthday.
Oh my God, it's our birthdays. And guess what, guys? We're going to go to the restaurant Felicia on our birthdays. We'll talk about it next week. But I would just want to flat out say these are shows that are coming out. It doesn't mean that I'm going to get to watch them all. Okay?
all right.
So
Let's see if I.
on the 23rd, Brilliant Minds with Zachary Quinto, NBC.
I'm so down for that because I love him.
I know.
And it looks like a very terrific show.
So that's for you.
That's for me.
On the 24th, now I love the Duplass brothers, okay? The Duplass is in the morning show. Okay. His daughter made a movie called Penelope, and that's going to be on Netflix, and I'm going to support that. And I think it was like self-financed, okay?
Okay.
That's the 24th. Also on the 24th, for your approval, the Ellen DeGeneres stand-up.
Yeah, I saw that on the.
Yeah, and it's all, how she got kicked out of show business.
Right.
I would throw that on, do some laundry.
That's probably a quick watch, and
Right.
Okay.
On September 25th, there's another true crime documentary coming out produced by an Akibite, that's Camp Akiba, Aaron Ginsberg, called Love on the Run, about a prison female employee that helps get a guy out of jail, based on a true story.
That is based on a
Casey?
I know
That was upstate New York, right?
Yes, totally.
No, wait.
This is not the same
It's
story.
not. I asked him.
Ben Stiller
with,
one.
with Ben Stiller and Patricia Arquette, Escape from Danorama. It's different. I said, "Is this that story?" He said, "No. This takes place. I want to say in Alabama."
So it's
because
another-
Casey, I
another
thought
du-
the same thing.
Another dumb woman.
Love me some dumb women. On September 26th, Colin from Accounts comes back for season 2, and that was a very enjoyable show on Paramount Plus. September 26th, Felicia, the show's for you. Dr. Odyssey, ABC, Joshua Jackson, Ryan Murphy.
Okay,
is
that one I
behind
have
this.
not. Okay, that one I have not seen the
Apparently,
promo yet.
the trailer is it killed like crazy amount of views. So it's not Ryan Murphy. Very rarely is on an ABC.
Sure.
I mean, you got Fox Glee.
You're right.
So and
What
I
is- do we
fucking
have an idea?
love
What is
Joshua
the sto-
Jackson.
Yeah.
he plays a doctor. That's all I need to know. Medical procedural. Give it to me.
But is it future? Is it present? Do we know?
I don't
Is
know.
it
I'm so sorry. But we'll watch the trailer after this. Now,
Okay.
you didn't see the Emmys, but I did, and
Yes.
Joshua Jackson was on them.
Is he still with his wife, or did they get divorced?
I think they're done,
I
so.
know.
But he came out
And he has
to the
700 children. No, he had a lot. I thought they had a lot.
I
of
don't
kids.
think they
No.
do.
Maybe it was the other guy.
James Vanderbeek has a ton of children.
That's the one.
Get it, girl. I love that queen. Felicia claps. So listen, it's funny. Joshua Jackson came out when he was doing the award on the Emmys
Yeah.
to the Dawson's Creek theme song. He looks so effing good.
Yeah, he does look
He looks so good. Get it, Pacey. On September 26th as well, Grey's Anatomy's back. I know. And the movie that Adam Brody, Kristen Bell, and our Oceanside alum, Jackie Tone, nobody wants this.
Right.
She's on a big press
Yes,
tour.
yes, I saw
Jackie
that.
grew up with me.
Yes.
And it's all about being a Jew.
Right.
Adam
right.
Brody plays a rabbi.
And that's going to be on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Good.
That is going to be,
Well, we definitely have to watch that.
which means we definitely will be discussing that next
yes.
week.
When does it start?
It's a movie.
When?
This the 26th.
Okay, I'm so confused with dates.
I'll
I know
download. I'll
today's-
watch it on the
all
plane.
right.
Okay, so there's so much. And on the 27th, Wolves.
Oh,
Clooney
I have
and Pitt.
Apple TV.
And yeah,
George Clooney.
yeah,
And
Brad Pitt.
Whoever.
And that day is the Will Ferrell Netflix documentary with his writing partner who is trans.
regarding. Oh yes, I saw
Will
a
and
clip for
Harper.
that. Yeah, that looked really good.
So much.
Very interesting.
What a
That's
birthday week for us, girl!
That's an interesting topic.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
They're best friends.
Yes,
She's like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
becoming a woman,
I can't
and they go
believe
on a road trip.
I finally saw some of the. That's some of the stuff that I saw promoted for this week.
I'm so glad
And
you're
I
back.
told you, Kathy Bates is also making a new show
I know,
on CBS.
Malik. And she also made an appearance on the Emmys.
She looked great.
Yes. So I won't be watching that, but you could. So,
watch
Mom,
that.
I'm just going to say, you could report on all these network shows for the viewers who the audience for your
You better
peeps.
send me a list.
I
Because
will send you a list.
because I do tend to forget.
I will send you a list. So, Felicia, we're so happy you're back.
I'm happy I'm back.
We love you. What?
Another trip, 2 years, Portugal,
Here we go.
with my same group of girlfriends that we had so much fun with.
Bye, Kathy. Bye, Ellen. Bye, Felicia.
Bye.
My Felicia, bye Felicia.